Thank you for joining our May 18th PZM Essentials webinar. I want to first introduce myself. My name is Dan Ba, and I am a Precision Business Planning Specialist at AgSolver. Today we'll be covering in our PZM Essentials webinar, we'll be sharing your data for processing. Our agenda for today is we will be exporting 2016 raw planning DAT files from Climate Fieldview CAB via desktop, view planning files within compressed zip file in downloads folder, uploading compressed zip file of 2016 raw planning data to AgSolver's DB inbox, creating a compressed shape file that was exported out of AgLeader's SMS software, uploading a compressed shapefile to AgSolver's DB inbox, and then finally we will round out this webinar with any questions you might have. So, and I first want to let everyone know that we are in Q&A mode, so if you have a question during the webinar, please just type in your question in the chat box to the bottom here where you can see my contact information. I have my email address listed and then also cell phone. So if you have questions post-webinar, feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call regarding your questions. Now we'll get started. So to get to this point, I've already loaded in and pulled up our Climate Fieldview CAB desktop. And so we finished planning on May 7th. And so all of our 2016 planning data from population to hybrids, varieties, and so on and so forth are all in Climate Fieldview. And what we're going to be doing is pulling and exporting that information out of Climate Fieldview and then uploading that to the AgSolver DB inbox. First thing that you're going to want to do to export data out of Climate Fieldview CAB is click on Data, and then we'll scroll down to Data Manager. And then this will populate all of our fields from 2016. And so what we will first do is select check mark right by the field name. What this allows us to do is select all of our fields that we have planted for 2016. And to explain a little bit about our operation, and there's roughly about 1,300 acres here. So, and after we have selected all of our fields, we will come over to the Actions drop-down menu, and I'm going to move that chat box, and we're going to export these files as DAT files. And what this is doing, it's compressing all of this information into one zip file that we can save on our in the downloads folder on our hard drive. So, and it just takes a minute to upload. You can also put in a flash drive into your 2020 monitor in your tractor and then export all of the information that way. So while that's downloading, we'll go to and I've already created a downloads folder of our 2016 planning information. So come to downloads, and I labeled this 2016 planning data from Mutual Resources LLC. So, and when you get a file out of Climate Fieldview, it'll be labeled something different. For me, I like to label the year and the operation and then enterprise. And so then within the zip file, we have all of our fields broken out. And so, and what I like to do before I send everything off to AgSolver, I just like to make a quick run through and make sure all of our fields are in this file. So to click on, and we'll just view Brian's Big North. Open it up. And then you can see all of the DAT files that are within this field and when they're exported out. But we'll go back to 2016 planning data. Actually, go back to downloads. 2016, so we can pull that up. And so now our export field DAT files are ready to be downloaded. If we click to download, that will download that entire zip file that we've created to the hard drive into the downloads folder. Next, what we're going to want to do is pull up the AgSolver DB inbox. And so for anyone who we're waiting on machine data for, or who is also working with AgSolver, we send you a DB inbox link, either with your name or just the generic AgSolver DB inbox upload web page. And I'll go to my web page here, and we'll come over, and next thing we'll do is just simply drag and drop files into this upload page. So we'll select our 2016 Planning Data Mutual Resources LLC. We'll drag that and then just drop it right in. Now that entire file with all of our raw planning information is being uploaded to AgSolver, and the team back at the office will then go through all of this as applied data, as planted data, and then put it into the corresponding fields. Within my AgSolver enterprise, I've already have yield data from 2011 all the way through 2015. I'm just uploading the most current data that I have. When we have as applied spraying data, I will then upload all that information to be applied to our fields also. And so, also I want to touch base, depending on how big the file that you have and your internet connection speed, it usually takes anywhere from about 1 to maybe 10 minutes. If you have an extremely large as applied or raw yield file and your internet connection is slow, it may take a touch longer. So, but with 1,300 acres of as planted information, we're already almost to 20%. So it's a fairly fast, easy, and simple process. And that's uploading as applied information. We'll close all of this. And then I've also created and exported shape files from AgLeader's SMS. And what I have here is a shape file of 2015 soybean harvest for the home field just north of the house here. And so it's one field with 1 year of yield information. And what is exported out of AgLeader's SMS software, when you export it as a shapefile, you actually get 4 different files. The first file is a .dbf file. Second is a .prj. Third is a .shp. And then fourth is a .shx file. What we're going to want to select all of these files. So simply drag your cursor over all files and then right click, scroll down to send to, and then finally click compress zip file. What this is doing is selecting all of these files, compressing it into a smaller folder so our worker can translate that and then upload that into your account. Next, we will go back and see we're already at 41%. So from our original as planted DAT files from 2016. Next, we will upload our yield information out of our shape file zip files. So Go to our desktop, scroll down to the folder called SMS yield shapefile data. We'll open up that, and then just like with our as applied information, just simply drag and drop, and now that file will be uploading. Shapefiles are easier and faster to upload just on the sheer size. So instead of uploading 18 fields, we're just uploading one field. And this will give you an idea how fast when you're uploading a shapefile. If you're uploading multiple shapefiles, the easiest way is to put all of those files into one folder, compress that entire folder, and then send that off to AgSolver. So our 2015 soybean yield data has been sent off, and that will begin processing. Our as applied planning information is at 65%. And so it's a fast and easy, really simple way. While that is uploading, I would say we can open the floor for questions. You can type in your questions. I also want to mention that this webinar will also be uploaded to our YouTube page. So if you want to go back and see the exact workflow of uploading as applied planning information out of a 2020 monitor or out of Climate Fieldview, you can do so also. I'm going to minimize that for time being. I also want to mention and touch base on formatting raw yield information. So say you're working with a producer and they have a Pro 600 monitor or a CNH monitor. Usually that the year of yield information will look like this. So usually start with a 15, or that year if you have 14 yield data, they'll start with 14110 S4, and the dead giveaway is .cn1. We're going to need everything in that file, so when you pull out your USB stick or your memory card within your yield monitor, you're going to want to look for this file and then compress everything in that file. So right click, send to compress zipped. When you're working with a John Deere monitor and you pull out the USB stick, you're going to want to look for the GS3_2630 folder and right click and then compress everything in that file. Here I have an example of a GS3_2630 in the top right hand of the corner of the screen. And then in the top right hand, I have an example of our 2015 yield data 151104 S4.cn1. And later on, and I will be doing another PZM Essentials webinar regarding, say and they have a My John Deere account. We'll be going over how to bring all of that information over from their My John Deere account and sharing that with AgSolver. So, and that will be down the road. So we'll go back and check on our status. So now we've uploaded our 2016 planning data for Mutual Resources LLC file. And so that will be sent off to Alex, who will then put that into our account. And I farm with my dad and brother. So and they will divide all of the fields out accordingly because we've already sent in where those fields are located and the shape files of the field boundaries. So it's a fairly quick and simple and easy process for them to put the representative data into the representative fields, and then that will allow us to go in and start creating our 2016 planning scenarios that we want to run for 2016. To give you an example of some of the scenarios that we're running for this year, we're going to be creating scenarios based off of hybrid so we can track the profitability and return on investment per hybrid, and then also the same thing on the soybean side, but we're tracking various populations and comparing those populations from a 100, planning a right around 100,000 all the way up to 180,000 seeds per acre. So, and then we'll divide those shape files out. And then also we want to keep track and play out our performance to help us determine our marketing strategies in terms of our cost per acre. How does that affect our marketing strategies, and how do we need to market our grain to hit our average or break evens? So, and that was an overview of uploading as applied data and harvest data into and up to AgSolver's DB inbox. Like I said earlier, we will be uploading all of this information and these webinars to our YouTube page so you can go back and review the content. I also want to mention that at 11 o'clock, from 11 to 11:45, we'll be creating planning scenarios from previous year's yield data on both corn and on the soybean side. So I invite you to join our next webinar at 11. And we'll wait another couple minutes, and if anyone doesn't have any questions, we'll be signing out. So I want to thank you again for joining our May 18th PZM Essentials webinar. So, and if you don't have any questions now, but think of questions down the road or later this afternoon, take down my contact information and either email me or give me a call. So Ted asked, I may have missed this, but is DB Inbox a separate app? It is. So DB Inbox is a web page that we use to upload large file sizes. So we can upload this yield information on the back side, so the channel partner doesn't have to. And so for this, it's just a third party that we use to upload machine data, so you can have the team and it aims at AgSolver process this yield information for you, so you don't have to sit there and take time out of your day to upload this information to your PZM account. That is just another service that AgSolver offers on the back side. And so DB Inbox is much like Dropbox. So, but DB Inbox allows us to consume the larger file sizes. So, and down the road, we will be doing a PZM Essentials webinar, how to upload machine data to the actual AgSolver page and then export that machine data to your fields. So that will be down the road. And the way we have these webinars scheduled is kind of from a front to back view and organization, how to upload machine data to AgSolver, and then we will be going through creating enterprises, creating fields, uploading machine data, things like that. And then our intermediate planning webinars will be going through and showing how to create various scenarios that you want to run on your own fields within your enterprise based off of your machine data. So if there's no more questions, we'll be signing out. And like I said earlier, I encourage you to join our next webinar. We will be creating planning scenarios from previous year's yield data. So thank you for joining, and see you next week.